Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. We have got ourselves what should be a good one here today, as it is gonna be none other than the current, and I guess I'll say new top bot. It is negativeZero. The recently returned Protoss bot, recent as in the past couple months, I'd say, has been back on the ladder and has now just taken the #1 spot away from Eris. And so I thought it would be fitting to cast this match, as it is a tight margin. And taking on negativeZero today is going to be another very good Protoss bot, dare I say an underrated one, as it is Sharkbot, a Protoss bot that is incredibly darn good. However, it doesn't necessarily get that reflected in its ladder results, I'd say. As, it's lower on the ladder than you think Sharkbot would be. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get too far into this one, make sure to go ahead and click that like button if you haven't already. If we can get 1 like for every MMR that negativeZero has on the ladder, an elo of 2043, that is, yeah, that would be pretty darn good. But you guys can always just comment whatever you like. Maybe comment 2043. Or more bots, that always works. And yeah, then subscribe if you're not already subscribed to the channel, as I put out these bot videos daily. You can also check out my new second channel, even if you guys aren't gonna watch on the second channel. It's Pro Starcraft, Starcraft Evo, 2v2s. Awesome cast, dare I say, a little bit biased myself, but even if you're not someone that's gonna watch those videos all the time, go ahead and just subscribe if you don't mind. That would be greatly appreciated. And then, yeah, thanks to everyone that does support this channel via the YouTube membership program. It definitely goes a long way. And let's see where this one's gonna go, as it's a PvP, so it is just a clown fiesta, as PvPs have been described in the past. Sharkbot just says okay as it loses its scouting probe. I do love Sharkbot. It's a very, very talky bot. We've got negativeZero going for 2 Stalkers after a double Adept opening. Meanwhile, Sharkbot has got a battery building in its main base and a second Adept on the way out for itself, but it's not going into units. Sharkbot is investing in tech quicker than its opponent here. As negativeZero, it does have the Robo done, so I guess they're both investing in tech. Stargates are a little bit more pricey than Robos, but yeah, we'll see where this one's going to go, as we've got Adepts going on both sides of the map. There is a probe waiting for negativeZero to build a pylon to potentially block it, whereas Sharkbot's bot author just took a different approach. Upon scouting those 2 Adepts, they went right for a battery and just said, yep, that's it. Not going to do anything else. No trying to get a pylon down or battery down in order to block that. Now it looks like the Adepts of negativeZero are going to shade on top the ones of Sharkbot. Looks like the trade will go the way of negativeZero. Meanwhile, we have got Sharkbot saying Pulsar Beam warming up as it came on in. Seems like it got a single probe kill, which is actually quite impressive. The defense of negativeZero against this Oracle. Sharkbot behind this is going into Phoenix. We really just have a Stargate opener against a Robo opener. That's the main difference here. So negativeZero has a very strong ground army. It does lose a little bit of mining time and a few more probes, which is definitely significant, as the income drops a little bit for the Protoss bot, the red Protoss bot. And yeah, let's see where this one is going to go from here on, as we have got Sharkbot stuck in its main base. Very cool. The bot author just to say, yeah, keep my units inside my own main base, but then eventually it does decide to kill that battery. So it's something very deliberate by the bot author to say, hey, yeah, wall yourself in your main, but then eventually make sure to break yourself out. As if you program your bot not to break itself out, that would be very unfortunate. Adept for negativeZero gets mega killed as it gets lifted and shot by 6 Stalkers. Meanwhile, the Oracle of Sharkbot is still flying around. negativeZero has its stalkers in position to defend this, though. Very impressive defensive behavior so far in this game, really from both bots. I mean, Sharkbot just dealt with that one adept, but no major fails or anything right now, which is very impressive by these bots. Like, programming your bot to respond to aggression is not an easy thing. In Starcraft 2, if you have... I mean, it's just like there's an unlimited number of things to chase because there's basically an unlimited number of ways to be aggressive in StarCraft 2. negativeZero did allow its own battery to finish, by the way, and then it's saying I'm 51.96 seconds behind schedule, which I assume is probably just based off the fact that negativeZero would like to have had an expansion by now, but it's a PvP, so you don't really want to expand necessarily very quickly. Sharkbot does have its Phoenix out. We'll see how well it utilizes them in a potential big fight, as these two bots could be building towards that. The Oracle is definitely doing a great job keeping negativeZero busy. negativeZero does have 2 batteries in that main base. The Stalkers are definitely being kept busy by that, and so negativeZero, while wanting to defend from the Oracle, the ever constant presence in this game, that means the Stalkers are not moving across the map to help. negativeZero notably is attacking with units that don't shoot up, which is not good for those Immortals. negativeZero, it's got its Immortals, they are pulling away. negativeZero has recently had recall behavior programs, so this would definitely be a good time to use that, but it looks like it will just lose at least one of these Immortals so far. This seems like a very good start for Sharkbot, just based on the fact that this Oracle is keeping all the Stalkers busy. It's classic AI sort of glitching. Anyone who's ever played a game against AI, eventually you figure out how the pathing works and how to exploit it by sort of making the AI run back and forth. And that's exactly what Sharkbot has been doing with that Oracle. Although the Oracle now goes home, maybe to defend against that one Adept that got into the main base. That seems to be the case. It is moving back out on the map, so good harassment micro on the Oracle for Sharkbot. It's definitely not had the best success with these in the past, so this is probably the most successful game I've ever seen of Sharkbot's single Oracle harassment. And let's see here, we've got a Nexus on the way up for Sharkbot. You'll have to forgive me as I turn the volume down a little bit. That is volume up. We need to turn that down just a little bit. Yeah, let's see. The Oracle comes on in, but it doesn't have that much energy. That's something you've got to decide as a programmer. Like, does the Oracle pop the pulsar beam at 25 energy and shoot literally for a second? Or does it pop it at 30 energy so it can kill a couple probes? How much? Because right now it does just seem to be padded on in. Probably cast the spell as an independent thing compared to the movement. Phoenix, meanwhile, for Sharkbot, I mean, they got those 3 Immortals for free, which was definitely very big. negativeZero has built new Immortals. It's now getting up its own Nexus, but all in all, this macro game does seem to be a distinct lead for Sharkbot. Definitely off the back of that Oracle harassment, the fact that negativeZero moved out with... The fact that negativeZero moved out with just those Immortals and lost them is quite unfortunate. Otherwise, it would have 6 Immortals right now, which would be no joke. But the Red Protoss bot does have its own Nexus on the way. We've got Hallucinated Phoenix being tossed out all over the place. Sharkbot does go for another Stargate on the way, though. The Oracle did actually go down. Pardon me for missing that. I assume that was due to the blink of negativeZero being completed. And yeah, let's see here. As we have got these Phoenix flying back and forth for Sharkbot. Looks like the blue Protoss bot may want to take a third base. So just following a standard lead. Now, the compositions are going to be very important as this game goes on. Sharkbot is getting out more and more Phoenix, but Phoenix are one of those units. They have the potential to fail hard. And so this could be a way that Sharkbot may give away a potential lead. As, I mean, Phoenix, like, they're good in PvP, but they're not really harassing for Sharkbot at all. If negativeZero just builds a boatload of Stalkers or something like that, could be very good for it. Looks like Sharkbot does want to go into a Fleet Beacon. We'll see if that's just for Anion Pulse Crystals or if it'll be Carriers or Tempest down the line. That would be very good. negativeZero is mining away happily on its natural base, so the economies have caught up for these Protoss bots. Still, though, Sharkbot has got itself a nice little lead doing some long-distance mining as it oversaturates its other bases. And negativeZero is just making more Immortals. This is not really the response you want against Mass Phoenix, although there is quite a few Stalkers on the ground. 12 for now, that can definitely shoot down a few Phoenix, but the problem is there's more than a few Phoenix, as Sharkbot is up to 11 right now, adding 2 at a time. It is getting that anion pulse crystals. We could potentially see like a maxed out Phoenix game from a bot. That's something we've never seen before. And yeah, here we go. It's just more Immortals being pumped on out. negativeZero does like its Immortals, and they're generally quite good. Now, this could go very well for negativeZero. It's got Blink on its Stalkers. If the Stalkers can zone away the Phoenix of Sharkbot, then the Immortals will shred everything. The blue Protoss bot does finally expand a bit. Slow expanding behavior. I mean, 11 minutes for a third base is quite delayed. negativeZero goes for its own third base, and oh, look at this! negativeZero actually taking the gold base on Automaton here. And this is something that I'd say is quite deliberate at this point. Not every bot prioritizes gold bases, but it's something you can add in as a bot author, a very cool feature. Looks like the red Protoss bot may be moving out for an attack, maybe just repositioning to defend its base. Of course, the pathing here on Automaton is definitely messy if you want to defend this location, as, I mean, you got to go all the way around. negativeZero does warp in a Stalker at the space, so it seems to just have chosen this as the location to park its army, which is, I mean, it's fairly general, but could work. We do have Sharkbot now going into carriers, so this match is just really building into be an epic PvP. As Sharkbot, it goes for extra Stargates, so going to be 3 Stargate carriers. That's generally what you want off 3 bases, to be pumping those out. So time may not be on negativeZero's side. We'll see if negativeZero potentially transitions. It is tossing out those hallucinated Phoenix, and so that could potentially see a carrier and go, wait a second, I need to build my own carriers or Tempest. It really is an unexplored portion of the matchup. Now, let's see here. That gold base is mining for negativeZero. That should give it a bit of an income lead. Although, I mean, there is less mineral patches, and I guess that is actually a bit more of a consideration when it comes to gold base efficiency, because a gold base has got, I mean, no, because they're still speed mining off the gold base. It's just one of those things to consider, because bots on average, they mine like 7 to 8% quicker. So maybe it's probably just proportional the same now that I think about it, because it's like, well, there's less mineral patches to get less of a boost from the speed mining, but then they're still getting the boost on the gold minerals, so I think it works out to be as big of a boost in a regular game. Now, we do have carriers on the way for Sharkbot. It's chrono boosting those out. 1 is presently out with 17 Phoenix to back it up. Hallucination for negativeZero does see that carrier. Still, though, no transition or anything from the red Protoss bot, as this game is just really a respectful macro game right now. Income-wise, negativeZero does have a slight lead in the minerals thanks to that gold base, although it's actually quite close, so I do kind of wonder. I guess negativeZero has got a few less workers than its opponent, perhaps, as we've got a mothership on the way for Sharkbot, so that's going to require detection, and negativeZero does eventually fire up its own Stargate. What a macro match between these two here today. negativeZero is usually so aggressive, but I assume it's sending out scouts, and upon seeing what Sharkbot has, it says, I can't fight that, just build up. That's my assumption. Meanwhile, Sharkbot is a bot that just routinely turtles, so I don't think there's anything to... There's really no surprise there. As, yeah, Sharkbot is getting out Tempest now, +2 attack. It has a massive lead on the air construction. negativeZero builds a Phoenix. It is waiting for the fleet beacon to be done, so I guess that's something to build it out of the Stargate. Meanwhile, we're getting a 4th base on the way for both of these bots, as we really have had a bit of a turtle match. It's going to be epic when this fight eventually happens, though. I mean, look at these two armies for the bots. I think Sharkbot definitely has the lead right now with carriers, but negativeZero does have a boatload of stalkers. The blink micro on them is very good, and look at this, Sharkbot maxed out, is now deciding to attack, so we are going to have a clash in the middle of the map. Guardian shields will definitely be important for negativeZero in this fight. There is... how many observers for negativeZero? Oh no, there's no observers, so this mothership is actually going to be massive for Sharkbot. We'll see if negativeZero can target it down. Presently, the mothership, it is utilizing that cloaking field, which will eventually expire, so that may be what negativeZero needs to decide to take the fight. Instead, the Protoss bot may be going for a counterattack. No, it's just setting up this beautiful, beautiful concave around Sharkbot, as the red Protoss bot is now going to go in. Sharkbot throws down a stasis ward. It's even got a couple hallucinated Archons in its army, or at least one. negativeZero's programming is going crazy, deciding when to take this engagement. Some Phoenix path forward, they do get taken out. Both bots are maxed out. The Immortals will help shred the Stalkers of Sharkbot, then maybe the Stalkers of negativeZero can take on this air army. Sharkbot, I mean, it's got better upgrades than its opponent. negativeZero doesn't really have any upgrades out, so Sharkbot will have an advantage from that, and Sharkbot, it's pushing out. negativeZero is very afraid to take this engagement, as there's just too much of the blue Protoss cloaking field once again activated. Now, that is still going, however, it does run out. negativeZero, it's engaging into some of the interceptors. The Phoenix, though, are lifting up stalkers. The blue Protoss bot looks like it's killing off some static defense. We've also got an adept harassing a little bit on the other side of the map. Look at the mini map right now. It's just negativeZero forming a circle around Sharkbot's army. It's like I don't know, what is it, bacteria or white blood cells, like surrounding surrounding a virus or something like that. Anyway, we have got Sharkbot just pathing its way back home slowly, going to kill the Stalker and Immortal on the other side of the map. Potentially, these Immortals are running free. Sharkbot has actually fallen a little bit in supply, surprisingly. It doesn't seem like too much has actually died, but I guess the trades have been okay for negativeZero. Stalkers are blinking away when they take too much damage. There is High Templar for negativeZero, which is interesting. Psystorm on a Protoss force can definitely be stronger than you think, as it's tossing this down. As Sharkbot says, are you going pure air or an air-ground combo? Disruptor gets tossed out, however, those Stalkers are saved by a stasis ward. Sharkbot is pushing in towards the base of negativeZero, and the red Protoss bot is going to have a tough time pushing this away. Sharkbot still has got quite a Phoenix count. It's got many Stalkers on the ground still, and its own Disruptors in this ball now, so it's got balls in the balls. And looks like Sharkbot does eat a Psystorm. Those High Templar are quite vulnerable for negativeZero. The red Protoss bot taking some damage. This is just an epic slow push. Big Psystorms go down on the army of Sharkbot. That's going to soften it up. Some of the High Templar are still alive, but negativeZero is definitely just afraid to engage this army. This is something that's so difficult to program, because it's like, if you're a bot author, how do you program, like, when to attack into this? Because Sharkbot has more supply than negativeZero, so is negativeZero supposed to engage, take a fight when it's got less supply than its opponent? Really, no. So it's just staying in range of it. Looks like we've got an Immortal and a Stalker harassing a 5th base attempt by Sharkbot. negativeZero does have a 5th and 6th going up for itself, so if it can shut this base down, that would be huge. Although Sharkbot's Death Ball is coming back to clean this up. Time definitely is something that negativeZero should be okay playing for, as it got out its own Tempest, still making an Immortal. That is something that I have seen from negativeZero. Its Immortals are good in like 95% of the cases, but right now it's already at 5 Immortals. I'm not sure if it needs more right now. So maybe that's something the bot author could potentially change, although, I mean, like, it's still, I mean, the game's definitely not over, but at this point I don't think it needs Immortals, as there's still so many Phoenix. There's mass carriers in the ground, in the sky, pardon me. negativeZero does have its own Tempest producing, however, it's just one right now. It's getting a second on the way. Only one Stargate. Could definitely do with more Stargates, but it is bottlenecked by gas. The one Tempest for negativeZero is in trouble, as Sharkbot does have good dive behavior on those Phoenix. It saw that Tempest as a threat, flew over the Stalkers, killed it, then pulled back to the Death Ball, so that's actually quite incredible. Big Psystorm does hit the army. negativeZero's use of Psystorm is so darn cool. Like, this is something that I think gets slept on in a lot of StarCraft 2 matches. Like, but like if you're in any game and your opponent is maxed out and you're maxed out, PvP, PvT, PvZ, it doesn't matter. Psystorm is good. You can even use it against meching Terrans. Like it's a very high damage spell, and if your opponent is grouped up, it's massively effective. These carriers have taken so much damage from Psystorm alone. Is there any High Templar out still? Yes, there's 7, so there's gonna be more Psystorm potentially. I believe that was a Psystorm dropped on Interceptors. As Sharkbot does come in, it's now killed 2 bases. negativeZero is rebuilding some of those bases. Sharkbot is on 6 bases for itself. The red Protoss does have another Tempest on the way, but it's important to remember it already lost one. Psystorm on the Observer, which is very cool. I mean, the storm's a little bit out there. The red Protoss is kind of counterattacking right now, as it does push on in, now trying to avoid this massive army of Sharkbot. Sharkbot has left some stalkers on the other side of the map as the pathing doesn't seem to be working. I think the units are probably trying to go down the hill, but then they're blocked by negativeZero. So these Tempest are actually going to get some really nice pickoffs for the red Protoss bot. What a game this is. As negativeZero, it sends an Immortal and a Stalker to the left side. Sharkbot is chasing this down. Meanwhile, there's an Immortal and a Prism. Very cool to see that getting independently controlled. I can only imagine the programming. Like, is that something that's just happened by chance or something that the bot author specifically set up? I mean, I think it's probably just good programming behavior, but then the Prism, it transforms. It may regret that decision as it can't escape. All right, so we have got a Tempest on the way for negativeZero as it continues to add to that. Upgrade-wise, though, negativeZero is lacking for a 21-minute game, as it doesn't have really any armor. Psystorm goes down on the Phoenix. That is huge. I do love the Psystorm. Psystorm doesn't care about upgrades. negativeZero does continue to add in more Immortals against a bot that's building 4 carriers at a time. Its own Tempest being added in is important. Psystorm just hitting so many of these Phoenix. And right now, it's just a game of whack-a-mole for Sharkbot. However, look at this. There's nothing in the skies or on the ground to really help deal with these Phoenix. So negativeZero gets its Tempest count reset. It really is all on the High Templar. And that High Templar count is growing to the point that there can pretty much just be a constant Psystorm on the army of Sharkbot. We do have Phoenix being replaced for Sharkbot, which is interesting. It's going to need to replace a few more, though, as it eats a big Psystorm. negativeZero just trying to storm the armada of Sharkbot to death, which, I mean, it's having some effect. It's not exactly killing off a ton of units. Resources lost, though. It's fairly close in this match. And army-wise, it's probably in favor for negativeZero, as it's just lost more bases than its opponent, which skews that a little bit. So many High Templar for negativeZero. negativeZero, I mean, it doesn't actually have any of its own observers out, so the observer of Sharkbot does have free reign. That's important for its vision. Psystorm goes down, hitting quite a bit of Sharkbot's army. More Psystorm going down, Phoenix coming in, lifting off units. negativeZero does lose another base, however, now it's taken the bottom left. It's expanded further to the right. So as long as the red Protoss bot doesn't die, it should be fine. We've got High Templar feedbacking High Templar, which is just incredible. So that actually removes some of the Psystorm from negativeZero. As Sharkbot just pushes on in, negativeZero, it's got a little bit of a counterattack being attempted by the Immortals on the other side of the map, but they do seem to be wary of the static defense, and the rest of these Immortals are coming home, which, I mean, doesn't exactly make the most sense. Oh, I guess there is some ground units technically, so maybe once this one High Templar we can watch, and maybe if this sentry dies, negativeZero will send its Immortals off to do something else, but it's logical. If there's stuff to attack on the ground, have the ground units fight. If not, I mean, I'll send them elsewhere, ideally, but negativeZero is taking quite a few losses at this point. The red Protoss bot has got a lot of minerals in the bank. Not enough gas, though. Could definitely do with taking a few more assimilators, as negativeZero has fallen down in supply quite a bit. It's still got 11 High Templar, so lots of potential for Psystorm as long as Sharkbot doesn't feedback them all. Still, though, Sharkbot roving around, getting lots of pickoffs. Resources lost in the past minute has really benefited Sharkbot. And all in all, the army composition just seems to be better for Sharkbot. negativeZero continues to add in more Immortals. How many has it lost this game? 13. And Sharkbot has pretty much abandoned ground units for the most part. So negativeZero, like, its composition is just not as late game focused, which is understandable. It is a bot that seems to get a lot of its wins in the mid game, whereas Sharkbot is just this late game god Still, though, these bot interactions are very interesting. I mean, negativeZero has more bases than its opponent, so it's still got a good income. Psystorm does go down, hitting some of those units of Sharkbot. This Nexus is going to be taken by one of the bots. I wonder if that's Sharkbot or what. The Immortals do decide to counterattack a little bit, canceling cannons. However, then they want to group up with the main army. It's very difficult to program your units to have good behavior. A recall goes down. Is it going to be the Immortals coming to help? Yes, it is. The Immortals come to help against the Phoenix. So not the most ideal, but cool to see the recall behavior there, though. And maybe the Immortals can pick off the High Templar of Sharkbot. negativeZero does seem to be avoiding a big fight. Where are those other High Templar? They're just stuck in the natural right now. That's quite unfortunate. What is the... Oh, do they must think that something's there when it isn't. Oh, maybe this is like a bad memory thing. Okay, negativeZero, your probe has scouted this. There's no danger. Yeah, okay, a bit of a bug by negativeZero as it keeps dropping Psystorm here. We'll see if Sharkbot's approach maybe breaks these units out of it, but look at it. Yeah, negativeZero is just continuing to Psystorm the ground as the bot does seem to be having a bit of a tough time in this late game match. And yeah, Sharkbot now coming into the main, potentially going to clean this out. One Psystorm goes down. negativeZero does pull some of its units away to get out of that bad funk. Feedback goes down on a High Templar, though. We have got another feedback on 2 more High Templar. Sharkbot is just such a killer. The carriers are gobbling up everything. I do believe Sharkbot is going to take this one, as negativeZero is just not as late game focused in the PvP. And yeah, Sharkbot successfully completed the Protoss objective of building up carriers and an air armada. Yeah, very cool game though. Like, we had the interaction of negativeZero taking more bases than its opponent, which is something the better bots tend to do. They're a little bit more greedy, which I think plays into part of their success, but then just very difficult to engage this. It was a little closer at the start. We saw some carriers get bruised up by Psystorm, but all in all, I think if negativeZero wants to win against Sharkbot, it's just got to get those earlier game wins, which it may often do. And then, yeah, maybe have less Immortals and more air units against this kind of thing, because it definitely does seem to be a bit of a poor comp choice. But yeah, very cool match between these two bots. Ladies and gentlemen, if you watched until the end of this one, click that like button. I know you may be going, well, negativeZero's at 140 supply, but yeah, Sharkbot has got over 10,000 resources in the bank, and it's got a 9-carrier fleet. There's just a negativeZero. It's making 1 Tempest at a time that it keeps losing to Phoenix. It's quarter past not happening, I think it's safe to say. And so yeah, ladies and gentlemen, click that like button if you watched up until this point in the video. Leave a comment down below saying more bots, more sharks, more zeros, more negatives, whatever it may be. Yeah, leave, yeah, subscribe if you haven't and you're still watching to this point. And if you do want to support these daily casts, consider becoming a YouTube member. It definitely goes a long way. Big thanks to everyone that does support the channel. And yeah, we'll just watch as Sharkbot cruises around and kills everything. It's a slow death for negativeZero, unfortunately. Sharkbot really is just a death ball Protoss, building its cannon wall, its cannon line across the map. negativeZero still with a ginormous bank, but no way to spend it, really. GG.